Are you willing to make the trade-off? Now, what I want to talk about today is something very important and very fascinating. Whereas it basically, I've been thinking about this for a while this morning, and it's kind of just like, hold on. It's kind of just like, I've been thinking about it for a while. Are you willing to trade something that's worth, factually, that's worth less for something that's worth more? And it's just, I'll get into, I'll explain obviously what I'm talking about, but I was just thinking about it and I was like, well, the first thing that came to my mind was the Hell Week, or the Marines. And I just envisioned like that bell that you ring to like give up, basically, to like put your hat down and like give up. And I was just like, damn, like even people who are aspiring to be like one of the toughest jobs, right? Or one of the toughest like things you could do. Like even they give up, right? And it just kind of like, it made me like kind of like sit back and be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, like no matter what you do and no matter what you say, like people are probably, there's gonna be a large amount of people who give up or don't do it. And that's kind of just like the way of life, you know? But what are you trying to talk about, Jacob? All right. This is what I learned from one of my mentors. First of all, I'm talking about trading the value of bad habits for long-term habits that will have a factually greater effect than video games or whatever the fuck, right? Are you willing to make the trade? To trade almost like such little amount of money for something that it could turn into such great amount of value? Like, are you willing to make that trade? For a lot of people, no. Just they're not willing to make that trade. They're not willing to plunge into that, you know? But we can all agree that like it is factually more valuable, these long-term habits like reading, working out, building the physique that you want, learning the information that you want, that you're curious about, that will actually help you, meditating, gratitude journaling, anything in general. All of these things, we can agree that like, a few hours a day with your friends, or hours and hours and hours and hours, like sure, it's fun and it's social, but we can agree that we can stand on the same line, right? We can stand on the same line of understanding. I was like, yes, like there is a line, and we can stand on it, and that line basically states that, yeah, like, not gonna lie, these long-term habits would probably be better for me. Like, Yeah, they would be. We can agree on that. Like, we can agree on that. And I basically just want to convince you that it's worth it, basically. So why is it fucking worth it? That's the big question, right? Why is it worth it to almost take the risk? First, let me give you a little analogy that I learned from one of my mentors of the fast lane versus the slow lane. Now, technically, it doesn't make any sense for the analogy that we're actually using because I've stated multiple times long-term gratification. So technically, it is the slow lane in a sense. But what I more so mean is like taking the risk. Taking risks is part of the fast lane. Even though it's not necessarily fast, they just call it the fast lane, right? Like, you can be on the fast lane, get really unlucky, and, you know, make the progress you actually want to make is in like a decade, right? By the way, the fast lane just means it just means taking a risk towards the potential benefactor of your life. That's all the fast lane means, man. Like that's all it means. Like, it basically just means like you have a problem, right? Like the fast lane, taking the fast lane in life. A perfect example of that would be like you hate your job and like you want to escape your slave job, so you take the fast lane, aka you just take a risk and you start like a business, or you start whatever the fuck else, or you look for better opportunities, or I don't know, maybe you advance in your career and you get in a better spot or something like that. That's taking the fast lane. It just means risks towards your benefit, pretty much. So why should you? To me, the answer is obvious. It's like, well, obviously, you know, for example, like if you had $1, obviously you even if it took a few years, like you would eventually trade that dollar for $100, right? Like you would do that, right? Like that's something that like yeah, it's like it's not sexy because it takes a few years, but it's like fuck it, it'll turn into $100 eventually. But it's just so much infinitely superior, you know what I mean? Because the dollar, it doesn't, like, no matter how much you play video games, unless you're like streaming it or like making YouTube videos off of it, and that's a whole different story, right? But unless you're doing that, like, even then, it's like, ugh. For the majority of people, they don't stream their video games, so it kind of just stays $1. Like, no one's arguing like, oh, like the dollar isn't valuable. No, it's still valuable. It's a fucking dollar. But what if I said that you had the ability to turn that into $100 bill? It just took a few years. It's like, of course, like any logical person would take it, but it's just the fact that it takes a few years and it takes hard work. It kind of like it makes it less sexy. You know what I mean? It makes it like less attractive. It's like, ugh, I don't know. Like I've been playing like video games and doing a whole bunch of quick habits, and I'm used to this like quick dopamine, quick. Like I'm used to like super quick dopamine, and then now you're telling me to basically do the exact opposite just for $100. Like, ugh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to, and that's like most people's reactions, you know. And it's like to a certain degree, man. Like, I think back on those Marines, and I'm like, fuck. Well, kind of like what David Goggins says, like, Merry Christmas, I guess. Do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, man, like, you know that you're missing something. You know? But you know that, like, at the end of the day, like, when you're about to go to sleep or about to wake up, that, like, you're missing something. You want to do something and you're not doing it. I'd honestly rather die than do that every single day of my life. Waking up to the realization that I'm not living to my fullest potential. Or at least trying to do something. Because what the hell is the point of living, you know? Anyways, hope you do well. See ya.